champ is here.
The champ is here.
The champ is here. Hey, man.
I'm your host, Antwan. The champ is here.
Richardson, because today we are going to be talking about...
The champ is here.
Well, there we are.
Yeah. What is up, guys? Welcome to Creator Spotlight, where we have the chance of connecting you guys with creators. And today I have the wonderful opportunity to host Mr. Antwan from New Stuff TV. How are you doing today, Antwan?
I am doing just fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm a bit nervous today.
Me too, just a little bit.
Okay, we can be nervous together. It's gonna work out just fine.
Right.
We hope.
Hey, if not, then that's okay. We tried.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to thank you first and foremost for coming all the way over here to San Diego from Texas, right?
Houston, yeah.
From Houston, awesome. So really great opportunity to have you here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come out here and hang out with us. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me out. People don't usually invite me into their house for certain reasons that we won't talk about today. But I appreciate y'all having me out here today.
Well, you are always welcome here today, guys. We're going to go over Antwan's journey, his creator journey. We're going to talk about how Sony has impacted that. And at the very end, we're going to do some Q&A. So if y'all have any questions, throw them in the chat. And at the end, we'll just do a live Q&A, ask Antwan any questions that you guys have, and go from there.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
What you got?
So Antwan, tell me about your channel right now. Like, tell me what you do on your channel. What do you talk about?
All right, New Stuff TV, it's kind of in the name, but it hasn't always been. So just over the last 2 years, I kind of transformed into more home theater type of content with TVs, of course, projectors, and home audio and stuff like that. So that's what I showcase, just a bunch of home audio stuff, and hopefully it's all the new stuff.
So from what I know, you're the non-techie tech channel, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
So yeah, do you want me to get into that, why I decided to go
why
non-technical? When I first started YouTube in, let's say, 2016, when I got started, I modeled myself after the people that I used to love to watch. Am I okay saying who this is?
Yeah, totally.
Let's take Unbox Therapy. He was one of my big inspirations. And, of course, everybody knows who MKBHD is. And, they always go into specs and stuff. And, of course, I know these things, but I can't always articulate it when I will even remember for that matter. I have the memory of like that much.
Same. And,
so putting that into a video, and it's like, I messed that up real bad. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go untechnical, and I'm going to tell the people that, look, we're just going to talk about how this thing works, and we're going to get the real experience versus looking at charts and numbers.
And sometimes that just works better because not everyone likes tech specs. Not everyone likes to get into the weeds with all these details, and sometimes it's like opening up a can of worms, right? So I think you do a really good job at just keeping it real, and I love that. So tell me, how did you get started on this journey? How did you start your YouTube channel?
Oh man, so way back in the day, in the 1900s. No, I'm just kidding. So I used to run a fitness business. It was called Body Style Fitness. Cool. And Instagram came about, changed the game of how fitness was supposed to work. It's online now. So now I need to shoot kind of like internet commercials for my business. So I got my first mirrorless camera and just kind of started making little clips for Instagram. And this was, what year is this? I have no idea. Probably 2016 or so.
Okay.
And as things kind of evolved, I decided to, are we getting into now when I decided to start my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually 2016 when I actually started the YouTube channel. My wife and I were getting ready to go on a vacation, and I decided to do a couple of reviews. I'm gonna call them reviews. It was a camera mount for your car, or for anything. It was like this with these suction cups.
Like a suction cup. Okay.
Yeah. So I was doing a video, and I didn't really want to show my face, but it was for the car, so you can kind of vlog in a car. So I put the Sony A6000 and A5100 on it just to kind of demonstrate.
Yeah.
And it was the worst video ever made on YouTube. It was like bad. It was so bad. That was my first video.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even a fitness video. It was straight into tech.
Yeah. So as far as YouTube is concerned, my first video was straight into tech because tech has always been like a deep love of mine.
Yeah.
But as far as me creating content, it started on Instagram advertising for my fitness business.
That's really cool. That's a really cool way to get into it, and that's a really, really interesting story too, because it wasn't your primary thought process of starting a YouTube channel for tech. It just kind of happened. Let me ask you this, and for the record, guys, we're not able to mention other brands since we're a Sony channel, but Antwan, on your channel, you're able to talk about really any and everything. So just so you guys know, we're not going to be mentioning really any other brands besides Sony, right? We're here to talk about how Sony has impacted your journey, but I just wanted to let y'all know, so if we're not saying anything, it's not awkward.
I'll tell y'all later. No,
I'll tell y'all later. It's top secret, top secret. So what gear did you start off with? Did you start off with like a shaky video camera?
Okay, yeah, that first camera. When I said first mirrorless camera, it was not the A5100. That was actually the second one. The first one I bought, I actually returned it within the 30-day window because it was so bad. And I can't tell you who that was. So I ended up getting a 5100 with the kit lens, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It met every need that I had until I went on the vacation. And I wanted to take pictures, and I realized I was on a beach and I needed a viewfinder. So I took whatever pictures I could. Immediately when I got home, I said, I need a viewfinder. I didn't send that camera back. I kept it because I loved it so much. I still have it, by the way.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying an A6100.
Okay.
61? No, A6000.
That was my first camera too, believe it or not. Yeah.
Say what?
Yeah, let's
yeah.
go.
A6000 was a beast, man. I bought that with the kit lens, and I thought I was just hot mess right there. Like I was just doing everything. And that's pretty much what started it. So my beginning journey was just that one for a short period of time, but then I went to a 2-camera setup.
That's cool. So you started off with 2 cameras. You got a better setup than me already.
Well, yeah.
Come on, Larry. Come on, Derek.
I still didn't know what I was doing though. I was still just, turning the camera on, like barely taking it off of auto. It was
figuring it out along the way.
My videos were so bad, Karina. They were bad. Don't go back in the early days of my channel.
I'm gonna go back later. We can laugh at them together.
No, it ain't funny. It's that bad.
So what do you use now? What have you evolved to now?
Oh man, this is my baby.
What's that right there?
This is the Sony A7C II.
Okay.
And this is my favorite lens for right now.
Which lens is that?
This is the 24 to 50 2.8 G.
Okay.
I love this lens.
Okay, so you definitely have a better setup than me. For reference, I love that lens. My favorite's the 24 to 70 G Master.
Okay.
So that's my go-to.
Well, I wanted to use that one. I actually tried it out on this camera. For me, it was just a little bit too front heavy.
I feel you.
So, and then I don't know why I didn't see these first. The pair, the 16 to 25, and
it's
then
newer. It's newer. Yeah.
I do have the 16 to 25 because I use that because I shoot in the house and I need that wide angle.
Right.
But this one right here is my favorite. I took a bunch of pictures out one day. Me and my wife went to go do something, and I looked to see what my my average focal length was, and it was somewhere between 28 to 40. So I was like, this is the perfect one, and this lens stays on the camera like 80% of the time.
Love it. That's awesome. So you have a Sony camera. What else do you use for your setup? What else does your setup look like? Just this lens, this camera. What else are we using?
So I do a 2-camera setup still. My other camera, the B cam, I guess you would say, is the A6700. Funny story about the A6700. I got that just before I got that one. And one of the Sony employees actually shamed me into using a crop sensor camera.
What?
No, I'm just playing.
I remember that story a little different.
Oh man. No, but the thing is, the A6700, the crop cameras, they work beautifully. They you could do anything with them, right?
Completely underrated by some people.
I think so.
Yeah, they don't get enough love sometimes.
You can do so much with those cameras.
Yeah.
You could probably shoot a movie with them, like a real one, production style, right? But when I started moving over to the home theater stuff, I started working in darker environments with my B-roll and stuff. And that's where I was like, all right, and I got this thing called GAS, Gear Acquisition Syndrome. Right?
I was about to say TMI.
I saw the look on your face. That's what it's called, GAS, Gear Acquisition Syndrome. And that's where it's like, if something's new or it's cool looking, I got to figure out how I can need it.
Right.
Not want it, but need it. So I'm looking at this A67 or what is it? C2,
A7C2.
Yeah, that.
Tongue twister.
And I'm like, okay, I just bought a camera that's really great, but I do need that extra bump in the low light performance. So I was like, you know what? I need this. I told myself I needed it, I got it, and I haven't looked back.
So you went from the A6000 to the A7C2? That
No.
was your jump up?
I'm almost embarrassed to tell you how much camera gear I've evolved from into now. Like it's a list. Do you really want to know? Like,
Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, why not? I mean,
Okay.
we have you here. Tell
no
us.
judgment, guys, no judgment. So I started with the A5100, then the A6000, and then at some point the A6400, the A6600, which I still have. It's so embarrassing. And now I have the A6700 and the A7C2. Now there was a purpose for all of these cameras. I went from a 2-camera setup to a 3-camera setup to just add more dimension into my videos. I would have a shot where it was front facing, and then of course an overhead shot where I'm kind of demoing the product in real life, real time. That way I didn't have to go back and shoot B-roll.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like an all-in-one type of thing. And then that 3rd camera came along later in the journey because I just wanted more dimension, so I could kind of go off to the side and give you this weird angle that was like down or up or something like that. And funny enough, during the video shoots, like you would see that that 3rd camera angle would change because I would just kind of stop, go move the camera, put it at a different angle, and that's my new weird angle.
So it looks like you have like 6 cameras, but really you
Right.
have 3. That's actually really smart.
So I still have the front facing and the top down, but then this camera just all over the place. So.
You know, it's funny that they say you date the camera and marry the lenses, and man, you have dated a lot of cameras.
I'm a gigolo.
A camera
I'm
gigolo?
a camera gigolo.
Are we allowed to say that? I don't even care.
Can
I
we
love
say
it.
that word's legal? Oh my goodness.
We're gonna have to take this episode down.
Oh,
So
man.
you've had a lot of Sony cameras.
Yeah.
Why Sony? Why did you choose Sony to create your content with? And what Sony features? Like, what have we done for you that feature-wise that you use?
So when I was doing some research, going from that first camera to the A5100, yes, I'm that guy. I look at every YouTube video and everything I can find online before I spend my money. And the A5100 just met all the needs, and then the 6000 did. And once you get familiar with something, you just love it. And then when they come out with something new that improved upon it, it's like, okay, I need that one too. So Sony was always the answer. Like, I don't know if there was nothing else. I never looked at another brand to jump to or move to because from day one, the Sony cameras always
It just did you good, so you kept with it.
And they just keep getting better.
Is there like specific features that you kind of rely on? So like for instance, like eye autofocus, that's been around for a long time, but are there maybe any features that have come along within the past like 4 or 5 years that you just really rely on? I know some of the guys on our channel, they use soft skin effect all the time to make their like skin nice and smooth. Your skin's already smooth. You don't need to do
Thank
that,
you.
but is there like a specific feature I use Sony for that reason?
I don't know if these are Sony specific features, but I love that these cameras have them. So first, the reason why the A6700 is like my preferred B cam is because it performs just as good as this one, right?
Yeah.
Except it has 4K 120 with just a little bit more of a crop. So I love using that 4K 120 on that particular camera. But on both cameras, this one and the A6700, what is it called, that feature where it kind of follows you?
The AI,
The
AI auto
auto-framing.
framing. Yep.
So I don't use it like all the time, but it comes in so handy when I want to add some more depth, like another dimension or life
Yep.
to my videos without having to go back and edit. Because I'm not a good editor. I'm really not. I know how to edit myself to where I look presentable, but it's all the fancy stuff. I'm not that good at that. And the camera's already taking care of it in real time.
And that's a really good feature, especially if you have a one-person setup. I know sometimes you have a Wilson.
Good old Wilson.
Good old Wilson, but if Wilson's not around and
Yeah.
and you need to film a video and just kind of make it look like a little bit more dynamic, you use that feature. That's cool. My
some
camera
life in
doesn't
there.
have that, so
Oh,
that's
girl, we gotta
comes in
upgrade
handy.
you.
I know. I've been saying.
Oh man. Yeah, so those are the two things that like I can think of right off the top of my head. I don't know if those are Sony specific or not, but
Right.
I'm just really glad the cameras have them. And that autofocus is just sick. I literally never worry about the camera like going off track or doing some weird thing. And that makes me comfortable as a creator because I got enough problems while I'm shooting. Like, I know every creator can actually attest to this. When you're shooting a video, you're like, you set everything up right. And then you're just thinking in the back of your head, did I hit the record button? Is this peaking or is it focused or whatever?
Yeah.
So Autofocus, the autofocus on these Sony cameras is just sick. It locks onto your eye and it won't let go, even when you want it to sometimes.
What features do you, or sorry, not what features, what settings do you normally shoot on when you're doing that talking head stuff? And well, I guess Wilson, he's filming you. What settings are we on? Are we shooting on manual?
He typically shoots on manual, and he's just kind of messing with the ISO as we kind of change and vary throughout the house or the room. When I'm shooting by myself, I keep it very simple. Hey, y'all listen to this real close. You see this? 4K, okay, 4K, 24 frames a second. Don't be doing that 30 mess, okay?
Oh, dude, 24 is the way to go.
Don't be doing that 30 mess.
24 is the way to go.
So yeah, that's my setting right there. But I usually don't dig into, so I don't shoot log or anything like that. So I'm probably underutilizing my cameras by a long shot, but the fact that I can just set some of these settings, like it's always going to be ISO. I got to get that straightened out. Yeah. Make sure that shutter speed is right. And since I shoot a lot of TVs and projectors, I have to mess around with the shutter speed sometime on the
oh
B-roll
yeah, you get that flickering.
Yep.
That can be a pain.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot of messing around with it. Once you get it kind of dialed in, there's a lot of trial and error in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Behind the scenes.
Do you change your settings for B-roll as well?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you normally do?
What I've done now is on the cameras. You got so there's 3 here on the A7C II. You got these
the custom buttons.
Custom
the
buttons.
C1,
There
C2.
you go.
Yep.
So I live in a 2-story house, and I shoot certain videos downstairs or types of videos downstairs and certain videos upstairs. And 1 is for my downstairs settings, and 2 is for my upstairs settings. 3 is for miscellaneous. And I just have those default settings there. And if I want to go into something crazy, I'll just do manual and just do a run and gun. But that's pretty much it. So these custom buttons do come in really clutch.
For sure, guys. And if you want to know more about any of these features that Antwan is talking about, just drop it in the chat, and maybe we can do a video later on about it, or just go into more detail about it a little bit later on. So
cool.
That's really cool. So what other gear do you use right now aside from the A7C2 and the A6700?
You know what? As much gear as I have, I try to keep it simple. But it's hard when you're a guy like me who wants all the tech.
I feel you. Yep.
But y'all gotta quit coming out with new stuff, man. I keep getting it. Anyways, so as far as gear, of course, there's the lenses. I do have more than just that lens, and every lens has its purpose. But it's like, as far as the gear, of course, I have a gimbal that I use. But a lot of times, and this is something that I just kind of figured out with Wilson, we put it in a cage with a handle. Because I keep forgetting the names of the features. Where it's not shaky. What is that called?
The stabilization. Yeah,
Why am I forgetting this stuff?
Stabilization.
I'm supposed to know this stuff. So the stabilization is really good in here. We keep it on. Let me make sure. We keep it on standard. I don't do active that much because it can be kind of aggressive sometimes. So I keep it on standard, and we put this bad boy in a cage. And between him zooming in and out, sometimes it almost gives you that Parks and Recreation / Office effect because it's handheld.
That mockumentary style, which I love, by the way. I really do enjoy that. I love mockumentaries. I love shows like that. So just kind of
I absolutely love it.
Very
some people,
casual.
even in my comments, some people can't stand it. Whatever, you do you. But I like the way it looks because it kind of adds like a realistic look to where you're in there with me.
Yeah.
Like you called it mockumentary? I've never heard that before.
Mockumentary, yeah.
Okay, I like that style. So if you got a problem with it, take it up with Wilson.
Are you able to kind of walk me through how you set up your settings?
Oh boy.
By the way, because I have a camera here. Okay. Are we able to put that on the feed?
So yeah, you got the A7C2 there.
Okay, is it on? Okay, yeah, here we are. Yeah, so A7C2 right here.
Okay.
Same camera as you.
All right, you got the fancy one though with the silver top.
Oh, I know, it's so pretty.
It is.
So pretty.
All right, so where are we going to start from the beginning, or are we doing my personal settings?
Yeah, your personal settings. I want to see what you do.
You're getting into my life.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see here. You know what I do when I first get a new camera? I go into, so hit the function button from the video screen. There you go. Yeah. That is a lifesaver for me because it just really puts everything that you need right there. you have to go in and change that though.
So these are customizable.
Correct. Now, it's probably going to take me a minute to show you how to get there.
Yeah, these look different than my camera. I have an A7C Mark I, and these are totally different. Who set up these these icons? Yeah, mine is
But you're not that far off from me. Are you on video mode or
let's see. I am on video mode right now.
Okay. Yeah, some of that stuff I ain't never seen
So
before.
zebra level, zebra display. This is a little bit more advanced.
So on mine, I have my picture profile, top left corner. And then I have like, I see that human autofocus.
Yeah, subject recognition?
Yeah.
Do you ever use that? I know you have a dog.
All the time.
So you change it for your dog?
Yeah. If you ever, so do you take pictures for your animals?
I do, but I have an A7C Mark I, which doesn't have the subject recognition. It has the eye autofocus, so it's a little bit different.
That feature alone is worth upgrading. Because my dog, he don't stand still and he don't like being on camera. So he's always like, oh, he's got the camera.
It is so hard to get a good shot of my dogs because they don't like taking photos either. They always, it's like they know there's a camera in front of them, so they'll like.
They get a vibe and they start like hiding their face and doing this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I always customize this screen first. That way, when I hit that function button, everything's just right there. Let me see here. What else did you want to know?
Let's see. So you normally shoot, you said 24 frames per second, right?
Why is it at 30?
Karina. I don't know. This is not my camera.
No, don't be doing that.
Full transparency, I don't shoot at 30. I shoot at 24. Whoa, mama. There we go. 24. We're back. Yeah, 24. Normally I do 4K, right? So this looks a little bit more. And then shutter speed, I'll do like 1/50.
Correct.
You do the same thing?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so now we're at the same speed.
This is totally not mine. Are we in manual? We're not even in manual.
It looks like.
It was a demo camera.
Demo camera. Okay, there we go. What aperture do you shoot at? Because you have that 2.8. Do you do that creamy buttery 2.8 or do you?
That is a good question. So I have a 35 millimeter and a 24 millimeter GM 1.4.
You're cool.
I love that creamy bokeh, but I see him over there. He's like, give me the, okay. But sometimes it's too much.
Sometimes you don't get all the details you're wanting. Yeah, understood.
And I was the guy, I always shot wide open. Like I bought this thing, it's awesome, it's giving that creaminess. I want it wide open. But then I realized like sometimes it's too much. You got to tone it down. And I realized a lot of times I was doing it at like 2.6, 3.0, and I was like, all right, 2.8 it is. So with these lenses, I'm usually at 2.8 indoors, 2.8, maybe 3 or something like that, depending on the lighting situation. And to me, that works for pretty much everything I need to do. After that, it's either a small adjustment in light or ISO. I've done something bad. What did I do? Let me turn this off. So yeah, as far as the lighting goes with the, what were we talking about? The 2.8. So yeah, but those, but then sometimes when I do like a talking head video and I'm just gonna throw in a bunch of B-roll, 1.4 is where it's at, so.
1.4? Oh man, okay. So what 1.4 lens do you have again?
Is it the GM, I'm sorry, yeah, G Master
like
35 and the 24. Are those 1.4 or 1. I think they're 1.4.
The 35 is, you can get it in a 1.4, yeah. And then yeah.
My favorite one is the GM, the 35 millimeter. If I had to like condense down to just one lens, oh man,
that would be the way you go.
I don't know, it'd be a dogfight between this one and the 35. Oh.
That's a little bit more versatile though.
It is. I can't not take this with me. This is awesome.
It's a good small size too. It's not like super big.
Y'all got to market this more. I don't think enough people know about it. Hey, can I say another YouTuber's name?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do y'all know who Michael Soledad is? I think it is.
I have not heard of.
If you follow him on Instagram, he does a lot of office setups. You've never seen this guy's stuff?
I have to check out his channel now.
Man, his stuff is so good. So I was just messing. He said something about upgrading the lens or something. So I recommended this one to him, this 24 to 50. And because he uses the A7C2 or maybe the C1, and he got it and he was like game changer because it's just a perfect match for the A7 series. Yeah.
So you said you shoot multiple places in your house. So is there a dedicated filming space or is it just kind of wherever? Do you have to prep it? So
when I started out, I was in a spare bedroom that was an office, right? And that was my dedicated space. And I felt like I outgrew the space, not due to my channel growing, but because I felt like I just didn't have enough space.
Yeah. Limited, yeah.
I'm kind of a wild animated guy, so I need variety and stuff, right? So I leased out a studio for, probably 4 years.
Whoa.
And it was similar to the size of this, a little bit smaller. It had 2 big rooms, and that was my dedicated space. And I was loving it there. But then I crossed over into the home theater stuff.
You can't be lugging TVs and,
Yeah, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm always shooting in my house. I don't need to pay rent here no more. And I'm gonna turn my whole house into a studio. So everywhere in the house is shootable. And I actually changed out all the lighting in my house to accommodate. Because when I first got started, all the lighting was like more of a amber.
It was like warm.
Yeah, it's
warm
very
lighting.
warm.
Yeah.
So I had to change it all out because I got tired of doing it in post and stuff like that. So my whole house is a studio now.
That is so cool, by the way.
And my wife and dog have to put up with it.
So do you have to like clean up before you, or is it your house just immaculate all the time?
I wish I could say that, but we're dirty, man. We're filthy animals in that house, man. Don't let my wife see this.
Oh, man.
No, man. She keeps everything pretty clean,
Yeah.
But, oh, she's such a disaster. I'm like, babe, I'm shooting today. Okay, I'll clean this up.
Hold on,
Oh.
your wife calls. We're gonna have to cut.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh my God.
no.
I ain't got a home to go to now. Oh my God.
You can live here. It's cool, man.
Yeah,
You're
I
always
can live
welcome here.
Cool. But yeah, so we try to keep the house straightened up. You always have that catch-all spot on your kitchen counter where all the mail goes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
a lot of times before we turn on the camera, hey, flip your mail upside down, squish it over to the corner, or, fluff the pillows a little bit, And we don't have a kid at home. My son's 24. He's gone. But if you walked into my house, and I haven't been in my house a whole day, but if you walked in there right now, I guarantee you it looks like we have at least 4 kids under 5 years old. Because that dog, yeah, he'll go in his toy box and just yank everything out, and it's all over the place.
That's too cute.
We're shooting videos and we're tripping over stuff, and yeah, it's madness.
So you changed your lighting for your videos, which I think is one awesome, very prepared, very cool, very dedicated. Do you use any other lights? Do you use like umbrella lights or LED lights?
Yes. So when we're downstairs, all the lighting seems to work well, so I don't need to do anything down there. Upstairs, I don't know, there seems to be like a lot of shadow up there. So we'll put on it's a LED light on top of here on the cold
Like
chute.
the little panels?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like a little square LED, and it just has all different modes or whatever. We'll put it up on there, and he's doing handheld with that. And then when I do like a talking head, just sitting on the couch video, I have these 2 like lights like these big umbrellas. God, I
Yeah,
should have looked up
right.
there.
You should try being here when we don't have the soft boxes on them. Oh, it is rough,
man,
dude.
that was
It is so
harsh.
rough.
Yeah, but I have 2 of those, not that bright, but I have 2 of those that I use because I have to turn off all the overhead lights because they cast a lot of shadow on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's actually really cool to know. And you're very active, very dynamic. Y'all are moving around the house constantly. I'm guessing you don't use a teleprompter.
No.
Oh my.
That messes me up so bad.
Really?
Yeah, when I'm doing videos where maybe a company has sent me like a brief and they want me to do like, bullet points,
Like a
just
script.
to capture certain things. Not a script, because I would always reject that. But
Right.
they do want me to talk about highlighted features, right? So I have to put that in there, and it's got some spec in there that nobody can really say in English because it's not how people talk. You
Yeah.
know? And I'm reading that, and you should see the outtakes. Oh my God, it's just me fumbling over my words. And I'll end up shooting like a 45-minute video that has to be crunched down like 13 minutes
Yeah.
because I kept messing up on a whole bunch of parts. Or if there is a script, I'm terrible at it. I'm just tell me what I need to do, hand me the ball and let me run kind of guy.
So you're good at improvising.
Yeah,
I
I ain't gonna
can't
say
say
I'm
the same
good
for
at
myself.
it. It's just what I do.
No, you do it, dude. You do it so good. You're so natural, and that's what I love about watching your videos. I came across your channel, and earlier I was watching some of your videos. I was creeping. And I was just like, man, he's just so real. He just talks, and
well,
that's
thank
what I
you.
love it. Because for me, I would overthink everything I would say. So I need a script. I need like a teleprompter. So it's really cool that you do that.
Well, that's because it's just happening everything is real time. And I love the way we shoot that way because it just, to me, it gives it more of a real connective, it's almost like connective tissue between me and the audience. Like,
Yeah.
You're here in my living room. Welcome to the party.
Love it. It's actually really cool. Is there anything else that you want to share about your process or your journey?
Ooh, oh man, there's so much. I've lived a long life. I'm kind of an old man in a semi-old man's body. So No, being a YouTube creator, it's just been like, I feel like right now I'm living, it's hard to articulate it. So when I was in high school, you think about what you want to be when you grow up, right? And I graduated in '97. There was no YouTube.
Yeah.
There was no pick up the camera and make a career out of it. In order to be on this right now, I had to get in contact with CBS. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had to come discover me.
True.
And now we live in an age where you can, if you got an idea and you want to share it with somebody, you just go get yourself a camera. And you probably got one in your pocket because you got a phone, right? And you can just share your ideas or whatever. And as you do it, you get better. And it becomes more comfortable. And then you end up developing some type of following, like an online family or something. This is just the crazy time we're living in where anybody and everybody can be a content creator. And I'm not gonna say it's easy. Well, it is easy. No, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's very simple, but it's not easy. And it's just a great time to be alive.
That's very true. And it's so cool because you're just, Antwan, you're a normal dude. You're so cool to hang out with, but you're a content creator too, And it's crazy to see these content creators just be normal people. Some of the people that we've hosted here, on our Sony Connect channel, or that we've seen at these trade shows that we go to, and they're all really cool people.
Yeah, because that's what we are. We're just regular people. We just happen to have cameras.
Cool people with cameras.
Cool people with cameras. I like that. Y'all need to put that on one of your ads. Cool people with cameras.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know what? You could just go ahead and take my job here at Sony.
No.
Is there any tips or pieces of advice that you would give to anyone who really wants to do some tech creation, some content creation?
Oh yeah, I do have some advice. It's very simplistic advice, and you're probably gonna be like, oh, I heard this before, but it's so true. It's tried and true. First, turn on the camera, okay? You don't need, an A7C II or Mark IV or anything. Turn on whatever camera you got, because that's the best one you got, and make some content. You don't even have to put it up right away. Just make the content and get it out of your system, because it's gonna suck. It's gonna be very bad. It's gonna be really bad, but do it again and again and again, and start posting it. And somebody out there, you're gonna inspire somebody. Somebody's gonna be watching you. They're gonna get inspired. And that's what keeps you going right there. And just as you go, grow. Learn how to operate your camera, take it off auto, at some point. That way you start getting familiar with some of the settings, and, watching, all the great camera people on YouTube. They've been a game changer for me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, can I talk about like when I first saw them
Absolutely,
in real life?
dude. Yeah.
We got time for that?
Yeah, let's go.
So
We got time, right?
I don't know if y'all have heard about a trip called Condo. Can I talk about Condo?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, this was
Please.
crazy. So here I am all these years just making YouTube videos, doing my thing, watching people like Gerald Undone.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good, yeah.
Like all these creators, right, with the cameras, right? And every time some new camera gear comes out, these guys pop up. Sidney, how do you pronounce his last name? Sidney Dijon?
I don't want to butcher it.
I
like
messed
Jason
your name
Bong
up,
a lot
dude.
too. I think he's solid. I love his channel.
Yeah, and I watch his stuff all the time, especially when I got that camera.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
And I get invited to Sony Condo, and I'm like, what? They're gonna invite me out? Cool, I'll go. So I go, and it's in this beautiful, picturesque place, and they bring out all these cameras to play with. These are toys for me, right? And then I start seeing all these people. Like, I know that guy. Like, I'm starstruck. Straight up starstruck. I mean, we're all creators, right? We're all just dudes in our living room, right?
Yeah.
But no, I am starstruck. I seriously want autographs from some of these people. I'm trying not to make it weird. I'm standing next to them. I'm sweating on the inside, like, oh my God, I want to talk to him.
Your heart's beating fast, like, boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
And then Justine walks by me, and I'm like, oh my God, that was Justine right there. It's crazy, but we're all just regular people sitting in our spare bedrooms.
They have the same passion.
Yeah, just cool people with cameras, man. And that's how we end up connecting, just like that.
That is so cool.
But that was a crazy experience for me.
I'm glad you got to go. That's amazing. I've heard great things about Condo, so.
Have you ever experienced one?
No.
Karina, we got to talk to some people.
I know.
We got to get you a new camera. We got to get you the Condo. What
You're
else?
my wingman. You're my Sony wingman,
I
by
will
the way.
be your wingman.
Thank you.
All right, that's what's up. Man, I got to take care of my girl.
Antwan knows a guy. Okay.
Let me talk to Sony, man.
Let's go.
Oh, man, that's what's up.
So I know we said we do a live Q&A. Don't think we have very many questions. If you guys have questions, by the way, drop them in the chat now. This is just for Antwan too, so any questions in general that you have for him. I know there is a question from Calio asking, does YouTube even do 24 frames per second? I know we shoot in 24 frames per second.
That's a good question. It does? Absolutely. Okay. Because I know all my videos look like what I produced.
Right.
So it must, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. And for reference, guys, 24 frames per second, more cinematic. You'll see a lot of movies shot in 24 frames per second versus sports, which is typically 30 frames per second. And then slow-mo, 60 or 120 frames per second.
Yeah. And then you got that 60, which is very jarring.
Yeah.
It's very jarring.
Can't say that, Larry's here.
Larry, you like 4K 60?
YouTube Shorts only.
Okay, fine.
Why, Larry?
But still.
They're not in slow-mo.
Cell phone. People see more YouTube Shorts on a cell phone and you start to that buttery smooth appearance.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh, man.
Cell phone viewing.
Not everybody can be great,
Larry's role model for this channel, by the way. Like, he is a GOAT on this channel.
Oh, man. Yeah, Larry is awesome, man. Him and Derek. So, any more questions?
I don't see anything else. Looks like we're a little bit quiet. I mean, it is earlier in the day, but
They
guys,
let
if
me
y'all
off the
have any
hook.
questions after the fact, drop them in the chat. We can answer. I mean, I'm sure you can come on in your New Stuff TV channel
I'd love to.
profile and answer as well. But thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. It is an honor to really have you here, by the way.
It's an honor to be here, to even be invited and thought about in this way. And from my understanding, this is the first episode, first time.
First time, yeah.
This is crazy. Y'all took a huge gamble, okay?
This could have went bad.
Yeah, man, this could have went south.
You're talking about that. They chose me to host. So I mean, honestly, they took a gamble both ways. But I'm happy to be here. I'm extremely grateful to be here talking with you,
Yeah,
Antwan.
man.
Because you're in Texas too, so I might just drive to Houston and borrow some gear from you.
You right down the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Texas is like 8 hours to get across, but
True that. But we ain't too far apart, so I should definitely be seeing you again sometime soon at some event or something at least.
I'll see you.
All right, cool.
I appreciate you for coming by.
Well,
And
thanks for
thank you
having me.
guys.
Hey, we got to do my sign off.
Oh, is it
Do you remember
the
it?
champ is here?
No, I don't refer to myself as the champ.
The champ
It's
is here.
The greatness. No, I'm just kidding. No, okay. So we got to say, y'all keep being good to each other, and we'll see you when we see you.
Okay.
And then
all
we
right.
throw up the deuce just like that.
Y'all keep being good to each other. We see you when we see you.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just rehearsed it, so if we mess this up, it's her fault.
It is my fault.
Okay,
All
ready?
right. Yeah.
All right, y'all keep being good to each other, and we'll see you when we see you.
Wasn't even gonna try.
All right, are we still on? Because you're making it.